Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at the first large-scale update for GolfTopia, update 0.2.0. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is fancy shots. So as you can see, I've made kind of a nightmarish hole here where it's almost impossible to get around these trees by conventional means. So let's see what these new and improved golfers do to figure this out. Alright, so you can see that he's intentionally curved the ball around these obstacles. So curved balls in the natural golf world are called draw or fade, whether you're going left or right, and I've taught these golfers how to do this. Their willingness to do these are based on their abilities, but this hole is pretty particular. So even a low-skilled golfer here is going to attempt this shot. Another fancy shot I've added is a backspin, so you can see based on the shape of the hole here that there's only this tiny little narrow band for them to shoot for. So they put a high backspin on the ball in hopes of slowing its roll down so it doesn't end up in the sand trap here. So if you look at the golfer here, he has enjoyed doing that, so you get rewarded for encouraging golfers to do fancy shots. I've built awards for fancy shots, for curveballs and backspins, so you can build holes that are themed around those types of things if you want. It's another way you can earn some money and further improve the rating of your course. So now we're going to take a look at the golfers using these new abilities to overcome obstacles where normally it would be really difficult for them to get through. So this was a hole that was designed by me before implementing the system, and now these golfers are able to tackle this otherwise really difficult course with the new tools I've given them. So you can see he's curved the ball through and under this arch to try to get it onto the fairway here. And this other one's gone around the other side, getting really close to the pin. That was an amazing shot. So next thing we're going to take a look at is skill-based shot variation. If you look here, you can see that unskilled golfers are playing it really safe. They're worried about the hazards in the water, and it took them quite a while to get to the pin here. And now we'll take a look at high-skilled golfers. They skip over some of those shots and take a long hit, a long risky shot to the pin. And they've also put a backspin on the shot as well to try to slow the ball down a little bit before reaching the hole. So here's an example of skill-based shot variation encouraging golfers to take different routes. You can see that the low and medium skilled golfers are playing it safe, going to the favorable fairway in the upper portion there. But these high skilled golfers are like, nope, I'm going to jump all the way across and cut that corner because they think they're awesome. So I've added a couple of new devices. We'll take a look at the most boring one first. So it's just called the golf marker, and what it does is it just lets you designate an area as being a priority landing or rolling area. So it doesn't do anything like bounce the ball up into the air or launch it across the sky or anything like that. It just helps inform your golfers that maybe you want to shoot here, so you can set up some of the other crazy device reactions that you want. So another device I've added here is a vertical wind fan. It works kind of like the sister object to the horizontal fan, but it's a little different. So it's got a much more narrow wind shaft, but it's also quite a bit more powerful. So we'll take a look at what it does to the balls in practice here. So you can see that it's launched the ball quite a bit higher than it normally would have gone, but it also adds a bit of an accuracy as the ball kind of rolls off of the wind shaft. So it's a little bit of a tricky one to use, and I want these devices to remain challenging. So here we're going to put all this stuff into practice. So if you look at this course here, this line is playing it safe, going around the water. There's no way that a golfer could shoot over this large water gap on their own. So I've set up a bit of a machine here. So you can see I've got two vertical fans in front of the tee, a golf marker to attract them to shoot directly over it. I've put a booster down to temporarily increase their driving skill, and I've put these two fans in the back to propel the ball forward, but I've also tilted them in ever so slightly to help stabilize the ball in flight, because we're going to need all that accuracy we can get. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So the ball traveled a lot higher and a lot further than it normally would, and the golfers will recognize that and have a positive thought about their ball traveling further than expected, and their mood goes up, and that's more money for you. So par for this hole is 7 because it's being generated by this long line here, but that's not really valid anymore now that I've meddled with this and kind of tweaked it out with all these crazy devices, but I've given you the ability to change that. So from here we can rename our hole, and we can turn off automatic par generation and set it to whatever we want here. So there's a slider, and the minimum is 3, and that seems about right for this hole. There's also hole swapping functionality here, so you can reorder your holes as you see fit if you want golfers to play them in a different order. So I've added these angled versions of the decorations, as the perfectly straight ones were inducing some rage. So this should be a little bit less constricting and allow you to build a more organic golf course. There's also a ton of other things that went in with this update here. They're just not really worth mentioning in this video, but I encourage everybody to take a look at the patch notes. And if you look down this list here, this is all the stuff that I've added to the game or fixed or tweaked in the month since release. So I've been pretty busy, and if you haven't taken a look at the game since release, I encourage you to check it out. There's been hundreds of changes here. I hope everybody enjoyed what they saw here today. This is just the first of many updates. So stay tuned and keep playing. Have a great day, everybody.